Alright everybody, today I'm going to be teaching you all a little bit about how to use printer in Schematica mod. Just generally some stuff for beginners, like how to change your settings to make it work faster, and other general tips for how to use it. So let me know if this does help you, because I could make more for specific topics, such as like base work or how to print cannons better. But just leave some feedback if it helped you. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing you want to do, obviously install the mod. I could make a separate tutorial on how to install it, but I feel like there's just a lot of people who have the mod and don't know how to actually use it properly. But there's plenty of tutorials of how to install a mod. But once you do have it installed, you're going to want to hit escape and go to options and then controls. Scroll down until you see where it says Schematica, and these are the important ones right here: load schematic, manipulate, and save schematic. Also, you may want to add a toggle printer control. By default, there's nothing. I have mine on P, easy to remember. But if you don't have a number pad on your keyboard, you'll have to change these controls for loading, manipulating, and saving schematics. They're all really important. You need to have them all basically to be able to even use the mod. So first of all, loading the schematic, what you're going to want to do, press whatever button you've had it set to. Mine's on my number pad. It'll bring this up. If you have folders in your schematic folder, that's just kind of what it'll look like. And that's how to go back. But this is what a schematic is right here. So maybe I wanted to build this auto brewer right here. I just used the load schematic function and I selected it and opened it. And now there's this hologram in game, kind of tells you where to build. So whatever's shaded blue is just something that needs to be built. Right here, stone bricks. Right here, stone on top of that, redstone there. But it'll show you if something's placed incorrectly by shading it red. So that's obviously not supposed to be stone, so it's like red. If there's something that's like in the area of the schematic that's not meant to be there, it's purple, so it might not be affecting anything. You just generally don't really want it there. And there's also an orange shade for if maybe you have something that's not in the right block state. For example, a repeater that's not at the right ticks, got to set it to the right timing for it to go away. Or if, for example, a piston is facing the wrong way, it'll show up orange as well. Same with hoppers. So that was how you load a schematic in game. You can navigate through the folders. This is what it looks like when you open the screen, and that's what an actual schematic would look like. There's also the manipulate schematic option, which is important. This is how you actually move how the blueprint sits in game. So I'm going to show you that now. Let's say you wanted to build a roof, a cobblestone roof right on here. You open up and load in a schematic for it, but it's not in the right position. You need to move it to get it lined up with that, for example. So what you want to do, you open up the manipulate schematic. This is what it looks like when you actually have a schematic in. It has the chords and all that. So you can change like the Y level with that, the X, and the Z. So you want to line it up. Obviously you just play with these until you can see it's going to be in the right position, and now it is. So you can hit escape to get out of it. But to actually start printing it now, to like auto build it, one way is to go back into the manipulate schematic and press this button over here with your mouse to turn on printer. That's a little bit tedious, which is why I recommend adding the toggle printer control, so you can do it just from one hit on your keyboard. So for me, that's P, and now it's printing. You can see it's automatically doing it. I don't even have cobblestone in my hand. It doesn't matter, it'll still work. But you can see this is going really slow. This is what the default settings are at, but we want to change those so that it'll actually be much more efficient and we can get this done a lot quicker. So to change your settings, hit escape and go to mod options. Now for some people, it'll say like test 1, test 2 disabled or whatever in there, and it just won't show all the mods. So if that's what is happening for you, what you got to do is disconnect and go from the title screen, hit mods and then Schematica. What you want to do, go to config, and what we're focusing on right now is printer. That's all you really need to work on. So you're gonna have this true, change place delay to 0 and timeout to 0. Place instantly, you generally want to put it to true, but place distance on 5. While that is maximum, on most servers it'll get you kicked for printing too fast. So for printing a floor like this, I'll put it on 2 or 3. And then let's go back in game. Make sure you hit done instead of escape every time, so that'll actually save the settings. Now that we're in, I have to reload the schematic because I did log out, but that's pretty easy. Change the Y level to go down, and then let's see how it works now. As you can see, I can run through it. It's going it all fast. That's what the place instantly will do. You want to have that on. Now if this is a little bit glitchy for you, on an actual server, I would recommend changing your printer settings down just to make it a little bit slower, because sometimes the anti-cheat won't let you print so fast. So some things to mess with that: you could lower the distance, you could increase the delay or the timeout. All of those will work if you wanted to maybe print more reliably. Sometimes you'll have holes in your printer. If your settings are too high, you'll have to like relog to see them, and then you would have to patch all those holes afterwards, which is why you don't always want to have your printer settings on the highest ones possible, because the higher your settings are and the faster you're printing, the more glitchy it tends to be, and you might get kicked from servers. But also some servers just don't allow printer at all, so make sure you're not breaking the rules and you don't get auto banned for using it. Now I'm going to real quickly show you how to save a schematic. So let's say you were building and you wanted to save a schematic of whatever you built. Let's say, for example, these triple filters that you might want to put on your base, right? So if you built these without messing them up that many times, and you actually got them, maybe to the right size of your walls or whatever, or lined up with the exact size of your base, that way you would want to save a schematic so you can just print it exactly, maybe send it to your whole faction. Well, to save the schematic, what you're going to do, you open up the menu with whatever you've got it set to. Mine's still on the number pad by default. And once you open it up, you see all these options. If you have it on, make sure you toggle it on so you can actually see the red points and blue points. And so you click the red point to set position 1, and then the blue point to set position 2 of where you want to save the schematic. And now if this is off, you won't be able to see that, but you want to have it on so that you can actually see the area, the size area that you would be saving. So you can see this is right, this has everything in it. So you go back into it. You can only do this if this is on. Type and save the name. So maybe you want to save it as filters. Just hit save. It might take a little while if it is a really big area, but that was really quick because this is small. And so then you can go into the schematic folder, and you can see right there, that's where it is. You can load it in, you can print it, you can send the schematic file to other people, and they can just put it in their schematic folder to make it work. But that's all there really is to saving a schematic. You just open it up, set the red point, go to the other corner, set the blue point, type a name, and hit save. It's that easy, and I recommend doing that for different parts of your base. For example, so you can get it to the exact size that you want it, or maybe for a cactus farm or something. But that's really all there is for this tutorial. I showed you how to load a schematic, how to move it and save it, also how to change your settings, which is really the most important part of getting printer to work well. You just gotta make sure you got place instantly true. Don't put the distance too high. I usually keep mine around there. You can turn down the timeout and placement delay. It'll just go nice and fast for you. There's not a whole lot else for me to show you. If you have any questions, you can just ask them in the comments. I could help with that probably. And I could also make videos specifically for like how to change your settings, how you might want to change them to do a better job at printing filters versus sand walls versus just a flat floor like that, to do it most efficiently. So if you have any questions or suggestions like that, like I said, leave a comment. I'll probably get to it. But I hope this helped you, and I'll see you all with more videos coming soon.